conceptualize a whole app to make it on for a level 3 landing page.
Give me a second. So this is part 2 of the live stream. The live stream completely broke down.
Jeez.
And Snea, would you please help the people transfer from live stream 1 to live stream 2 and add the slides and nice descriptions. So,
go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Question.
Would it be right to say that level 1 and 2 were trying to empathize with the people and the problem, and level 3 more testing the solution? Or
Yes,
is that wrong?
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. The level 1 and 2 was more problem solution fit. The level 2 was an idea of product market fit. Not by no means product market fit, but getting an idea of this product would actually get much more traction if we showed them an actual solution, not just big screens.
Yeah, from my perspective, 1 and 2 was get rid of obvious shit, and
afterwards obvious.
Yeah, after
in the beginning
totally.
we were all convinced we wouldn't build a landing page if
Yes.
we didn't believe in the idea,
yes,
right?
at least 2 people.
At least 2 people were convinced.
And level 3 and up, we took an idea serious and put like a lot of effort into that. Yeah.
Can you show an example on how level 3?
Yes, I'm gonna go into that. First step is having a proper problem interview. Yeah, this is straight from what is the book called that Ash Maria signed for you?
Mm-hmm.
What was the name? Running Lean.
Running Lean.
This is straight out of
obviously.
Running Lean, and this link, which is also clickable in the slide deck that you can download, is the way he suggests to do this. I always try to emulate that system. This is the problem interview. There's also going to come like a solution interview in a second. So when were we happy with the results of the problem interview? We were happy if we figured out, oh, people are saying this is a must-have, must-solve problem. And we can describe how customers solve it today, and we can identify the demographics of the early adopters through analytics or through self-reporting. Those were our main goals here. We really have a clear grasp on the problem and know how customers solve it today and who is trying to solve it. And this is how a level 3 app mockup looked like. This is from 7 Meals. Just the mockups, this is not the final version, but this is what we showed the customers. Look, this is what our solution could look like that would make your cooking process or meal planning a lot easier. And this was the solution interview. The goal is how to solve the problem. What is the minimum feature set of this app to actually solve that problem? What is the reasonable pricing model for this? Because we needed to make money with those apps, which is a really tough thing to do in the end. Everything is easier than apps.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. And understand who has the pain, who do we want to acquire as the early adopters. And the solution interview went more like this. He welcomed demographics, tell a story, show a solution. We sometimes built like click dummies to point and click for people. He had startpaths to test around. We tested pricing by just telling them this is the price and recording their reactions with different price points. Sometimes in the beginning we asked for price ranges, which didn't turn out to be helpful. We just needed to tell people this costs $4.99. Would you give the money right now? and then ask later, like another person, would you buy it for $2.99, and see just what the conversion rates would be on price testing. So the solution interview was done. If we could define the minimum feature set, we had the price that the customer was willing to pay, and if we would knew how that customers would look like. And this was one of, one question.
Like how valid is the answer of a customer who never used the app, how much he would like, it would be worth it for him to pay? Like for instance, if it's a new app and I never used it, and I don't know like what I'm getting out of it. I don't know how much I would pay for it.
good question, but that was the same for all app validation ideas.
Okay.
Yeah, so we could control that variable by having the problem on every stage. It doesn't solve the problem at the end, that there are different audiences that would have different tendencies to pay or not to pay.
Yeah, and in my opinion, it's we didn't do the business model pricing thing enough.
Yes.
That's definitely a big of a learning that we that our focus on that one was not that big as it should have been.
We could have pre-sold on level 3, for example.
Exactly.
We just took some PayPal cash.
Exactly. Something like that. And in retrospect, I would have changed that a little bit and asked for money for something. I don't know, make an ebook for recipes or how to organize your kitchen or what. I'm sure we would have 120 ideas for ebooks at that point in a day.
Yep.
So you have something to sell, and then you get a sensitivity for pricing in that market, right? And later with CSGO Skills, for example, it was a tremendously successful app, but nobody wanted to pay like a cent. So, and that was one of the very, very big failures in that regard, that we didn't set a focus early on the business model pricing structure thing of that specific target audience.
Sebastian?
Did you also do A/B testing for Android versus iOS?
So do we do A/B testing for Android versus iOS? We just straight did both. Yeah, we built them both natively. The developers did, and we didn't use any frameworks that would make that life easier for us. The developers were so used to coding natively; they were so fucking fast. It was amazing.
Yeah, and these apps, were was an MVP, right? And in the early level 1, 2 stages, it just didn't make sense to A/B test and
the coders mind if their app wasn't used after that?
Can you repeat the question? Because I didn't get it.
Did the coders mind if the app was cancelled, like in the process? Yeah, the whole thing, team alignment was an issue. Also, within the team, everyone worked like on a different project, on a different app. So, especially in the beginning, Ben was like coding landing pages with these 3 ideas and was passionate about these. And Josh was like that's UX. Was on a level 3 page and brainstormed about some new app, and the coders have been like at the very last stage of developing an actual app. So within a team of 6, basically everyone was
in a different stage.
In a different stage, in a different state of mind, and you do not get, so that's kind of an answer to your question. You do not get that attached to an app, because there was always the next one and the next one. And maybe it wasn't even your idea, or it wasn't performing that good compared to one app which is in the idea funnel right now, which is outperforming everything. So you kind of are in the state of mind, this app will be cancelled anyway, and so on and so forth. So
and then we did stupid things like this. We validated ideas that we didn't want the business afterwards. This was a very well validated idea. Bring My Burger, a peer-to-peer burger delivery service. Like Uber for burgers, like amazing.
It's obvious, right?
It's obviously. But do you want to be the guy validating in front of McDonald's and Burger King and delivering the burgers to your customers? We didn't want to be that. We're in the fucking app business. We could be in 150 countries with a mouse click. Why should we do this? Yeah? We didn't want to do this. So, making the mistake of actually validating ideas, and this made it to level 3. This is a level 3 landing page, for example, with mockups. And this was a real click dummy that you could actually use. We built that with Apple Keynote. Yeah, Josh built it.
Yeah.
And you see, oh yeah, a burger nearby. Yeah, you can pay with the app and you can track the people. Those were the 3 features we heard most clearly out of our customer development service. That was the time when Burger King and McDonald's did not have any kind of delivery service yet. And they're still struggling with it today. But still, delivered burgers suck. Like, if you have ever tried to order one, even from Zimmerman's, it's like, the French fries is disgusting and the burgers don't taste good. So we didn't want to have the business in the end. Yes, please.
How many ideas did you raise?
150 on level 1, about the half of that on level 2, and so it goes on.
Yeah, I have the feeling you went like a bit fast on the interviews. So I've done some interviews,
Yeah.
and I know different problems linked with it, and I would like to know how you solve them. So how much time did you spend on this part? How many people? How did you recruit them? Did you do it physically? How many people of your team were in the interviews? There are 1,000 of questions when you do it that are important.
So the question is about how thoroughly did we go into the customer development surveys. We tried to do this at scale. That meant that we tried to minimize the amount of in-person interviews. Yeah? We learned very quickly that people were extremely open in submitting online surveys, and that they are much, much more honest with you than in real life. They would tell you straight away if your idea was shit. I have Google Docs full of pages, full of feedback. Yeah, like I wouldn't imagine that anybody would fill out a survey so thoroughly. But if the pain is there, people are willing to answer in detail. Then at the end of the survey, we gave them the option, can we interview via Skype? And depending on the qualification of the subject, we did that. Yeah, so we only did Skype interviews with people that had a very high pain point and that were interested in what we were up to. Yeah, that solves all the bullshit startup weekends running around asking people who have no fucking business in giving you any answers about your ideas. You know what I mean? I'm really pissed about this point, especially on startup weekends. They send you around, ask every on the street.
Every mother on the street.
And on the weekends, you cannot validate B2B businesses at all, but just call people, make meetups. No. You have to talk people who have the problem and the ability to buy your solution. Yeah, we try to solve that in the steps that we with 2,000, with 1,000 email submissions, we got about 200 survey supplies for every idea which we actually built. And out of those, we could have interviewed, I guess, 25%. Okay. That was the source of interviews.
Plus, we at first we wanted to interview only our potential customers. Yeah. So we only have their email address, and I don't want to interview random people on the street. They didn't even sign up for the problem, so they need to jump through a hoop. And so it was naturally basically also the way.
It was a strength and a weakness as well. One of our rules was never to do it in Germany. This was the only German idea we validated. We didn't want to have any interference from our friends and families that they would sign up or anything. We did it mostly US, Canada, Ireland, UK, Australia. Those were our target countries for the AdWords ads. And the weakness, of course, is, and what I said in the beginning, what the framework I would use much more is the design thinking framework, is that it lacks empathy. Maybe you get the data, but you didn't sit in front of the person talking to you. You couldn't read so much in between the lines. I would just mix it up a little bit more. Would do 50% online, 50% offline. Or at least the 50% of the people I got online, I would try to get offline as well. So, what else would I add these days as data points? I would definitely add good old Facebook stats. Yeah, Facebook has become so amazing in delivering you with customer insights that I wanted to share a few insights you can gain if you just add the Facebook pixel in addition to the Google Analytics pixel to your page. Fuck you, GDPR. So here you can see 25% women, 75% men. You can see exactly which age groups are over-indexing. You can see in the page likes which people they're interested in. This is, for example, for people interested in Tesla Motors. Of course, they're interested in Tesla, but also in In-N-Out Burger. They're interested in organizations like this. You can get all the big pages they like to follow, and you can use that again as retargeting points to get to those customers. You get their location, the main cities they are hanging around in. Here we see that San Francisco heavily over-indexes on Tesla fans. Surprise! And you see their activity. You can see how social they are. If they are liking, sharing, commenting more than the average Facebook user, which means they're a good audience for being targeted on social media. The fuck? You also get, for the US data, you get the household income distribution. Again, for Tesla fans, you see that they over-index from 100,000 to about $250,000, $300,000 dollars of income per year, and they under-index on the lower part. So you can just exclude poor people in your targeting and focus on rich people. Makes sense, right? Yeah, that's what I would add on level 3, or like straight from the beginning. Add the Facebook pixel, get your Facebook audience insights as early as possible, in addition to the Google Analytics stuff. So shall we look at some final products? Totally.
Oh, totally.
So how many of those did we build actually?
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus, like 6-ish?
Yeah, 6-ish.
6-ish.
Questions, yeah.
Apps. So we got the full product website, we did the third customer interview wave, we did full conversion tracking, on-page and off-page SEO readiness, we did the third wave of ad optimizations. It was continuous, but like a big push in optimizations. We activated the fan page a bit more, and we focused on the cost per acquisition. We put in up to 5K. It was hardly ever necessary to use the 5K in that stage to see if this app would get traction. And this would be when the app is live in the App Store. Then this budget would open up. So we developed the MVP for these Go Skills, for example. It took just 2 weeks for it to go live. And hardly any idea took longer than 2 weeks.
Yeah, totally. It was just a good hard cap. So we had that much capacity, so that many man hours can go into an app. So we have to have an MVP fitting in that time frame. So, and that was actually a good thing. So
it was really a good restriction.
You have to limit yourself and either build one fancy feature or 3 mediocre fancy features, but maybe that one is even better. So, yeah.
Thilo?
Yes. The 5K are only for advertisement, right? It's only advertisement budget.
So the question is about the 5K, it's just ads.
And do you have
Facebook and AdWords.
Yeah, do you have numbers on how much resource cost, so to speak, or time cost you had for building the app itself?
So if we had a burn rate of 50K per month, it's 25K for a 2-week sprint.
Okay.
Yeah, including the advertising cost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wish that would have been lower. Yeah. So we did actual user testing. We had a whole setup. In the beginning, it was really awful because the beta programs of iOS and Android was such a bitch. You can't imagine how hard it was to get beta user in Google Android system. They had to join a Google Plus community. Then they had to apply with their Android profile to the system. And then we had to reconfirm, and then they might get one version or not the other of the app. In iOS it was not much better. These days, it's much easier to get beta testers involved. But this was the time when we actually used a little of the budget to get beta testers in, fix the bugs, fix the UI hinges that we saw in analytics, and then push the budget more and more and more. And then we usually build a demand-based roadmap. What does that mean?
Plus the 2 weeks. At the beginning, Apple needed for an app review needed 2 weeks to publish actually an app. So and we had 2 weeks to build an app. So we always lacked we tried to time that. Android started development later, but it doesn't make sense from a technical perspective, and so on and so forth. So it was always something didn't work out in the end on every app.
So to give you a time frame, level 1 maybe took 2 weeks, level 2 maybe 2 weeks, level 3 maybe 2 to 3 weeks, level 4, the beginning, the app building 2 weeks, plus the promotion, which I would add 4 weeks in. So we had all the other apps that we already did, marketing those in parallel and validating new ideas. It was amazing, but it was also super crazy, ambitious. Yeah. So at the end, we wanted to come up with an idea evaluation that we would also present to the investor and say, this is what we learned from this validation process up to the app and spending that amount of money, and this is what we got out of it. Yeah? So let's look at a real example. This is 7 things. Yeah? The mobile app that helps you to keep track of what anyone borrowed from you. I still wish I would have that app. Yeah, I never figured out a way to get people to give us some money. This is how the landing page looked like. Like this is if Josh touches stuff. It looks like that, not like my crappy shit. And this is another level, for example, which you maybe saw, the CSGO skills page. And just to give you an idea of what we did then to promote the page, we wrote an article every week, grew the SEO traffic in this case. I just checked it. There are 1.3 million users have visited the website now. Yeah, just from the SEO work we did in that phase, and we didn't touch the site. I just, like in the last 2 months, I uploaded some articles. I can see it rising again. And we also did like YouTube ads. We partnered with the people we saw in the placements and AdWords, all kinds of fun stuff. And like this was one of the processes we developed out of CSGO skills. And writing an article, publishing it on a blog, sending it in newsletters, spamming it to social media, spamming it on different content platforms. You're going to see this a couple of times during other presentations, and you can check it out later. I just wanted to share that content syndication process we developed for those apps. And everything we learned from one app, we could reapply on the next iteration. You have to imagine like what kind of a learning cycle we did. Like developing 6 apps, what an amazing experience that must have been for the developers. Stressful, but still so much learning involved.
That's totally true. Plus, there was CSGO skills. These numbers were great, right? So if we would have just
can I get a beer, please, too?
Build an app and never have one app which actually get to 6 digits users and tremendous good feedback and people loving the product and so on and so forth. So there was a kind of success in the end, and that was the app we focused on at first. That was also very rewarding. Prost.
So, I hope it's not in the stream.
No.
Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What was the end-to-end validation delivery timescale? I was too lazy to add one.
Like 12 weeks.
Yeah, about.
Maximum. So these days I would, for example, add segment integration into level 4, just all the analytics tools we tried just to unify them into one tool and have the developer not go mad with building in 4 analytics tools. just stuff in a segment and send the events to all your analytics tools. Yeah, it's like a data hub. And I think this guy is going to solve our GDPR problem. Yeah, they are from the US, so they are third country. What is it called? Ein Drittland. Yeah, USA is ein Drittland. And so they have to have special requirements in order to go through the data protection. What they are selling now is, in order for you guys to be able to delete user profiles, you actually have to have user profiles. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to user profile anybody so I'm able to delete it. It's a good argument. I really like it. Otherwise, how would you delete singular sessions of a user that I could maybe potentially attach a name to? So that comes back around to the whole fuck you GDPR thing. So let's skip that.
Back to the topic. We didn't stop like be data driven when the app was out, right? It just doesn't make sense, right? So we developed or we tracked a lot within the app, and then we also developed or made updates within the app, just pure database, which feature converted better, and what was the community?
Yep.
We had a voting mechanism on features within the app, so we kind of built the first and second feature up of the voting list first, and so on and so forth. So that was so we changed the app also a lot.
Yeah. So building in. Like, once you have one idea, and this is what we also have in our conclusions, like, this system doesn't only work for a lot of ideas. This thing works for your singular business idea and the many benefits and features and problems you would like to solve. Yeah, you can use the exact same system. And one of the things that you just mentioned that I would definitely build now into every single one is an option for users to vote for upcoming features. It was so surprising to us what they would suggest, what they would vote on. We limited their voting capabilities to like one vote per week, so that the more retaining users that stayed longer with the app had stronger voting power.
And they did.
And they goes like tens of thousands of votes per feature. And it's really surprising to you what people actually care about and what they do not care about. Even I'm a psychologist, I'm into really trying to not fooling myself with that kind of stuff. So we randomized the order of the votes every time. We changed it from time to time to get some new results and to really validate that this idea has been the most interesting one. And so we ended up with this whole process level 1 to 4. Basic validation, just getting rid of the major stupid ideas, then the problem solution bit, then an idea of product market fit, and then to land an MVP in the market.
Can you remind us the volumes of people at each step that you...
Yes. So here would be good to have between 70 and 80 signups. Here 200 would be good, really good. 1,000 here, and then we would code. This was the most restrict bridge, like at least 1,000 and positive feedback with a given budget of 200, 500, K, and usually it was more like 100, 200, 500, because after a while we switched to validating more ideas when actually planned, but building less apps. That was one of the learnings we had. Yeah.
Because Ben told you guys earlier, we pretty much saw within days if an app will be a good idea worth going into level 2. So we moved into let's just not waste money one more week. We see already this.
That it has traction.
Yeah. It will get traction, or it is a total failure, and just don't give $50 for another sign up. It's just a waste of money. So and then we accelerated the speed, and I forced them to just build faster.
So many ideas do you actually need now to have a brilliant one? Yeah, you actually just need one, but you're very unlikely to have your best idea on the first try. So if you're on the entrepreneurial journey, don't think about your one idea. You're so super passionate right now. I'm in this for 10 years now. This is a marathon. Rewards show up after 5, 6 years. Think about how you can use every idea you have, no matter if it succeeds or fails, as a learning opportunity. Yeah, as a way to increase your skill sets and actually being able to make such an idea successful. Maybe we weren't just ready or built for building that one or the other idea. Maybe another founder team would have made it with that idea set. Yeah? We don't know. We just played here with the probabilities of being much more likely to have an idea that really suits us. And after this experience, we learned that we can just generate as many ideas as we like, and we can be super picky and choosy about the ideas we let go a step further. And think about this journey you're on. Like, if you bet your whole thing on the wrong idea and then are super frustrated by it failing, that's not a good outcome for the whole society. It's better for you to practice with smaller ideas, get your feet wet, learn how this whole system works, and then try the harder and harder and harder ideas over the upcoming years. So, but it was not all roses and rainbows, right, Anna?
Nah, it wasn't.
We saw the limitations of this system. So I just picked we had a list of 20 limitations. I just picked 4.
I saw it. It's tiny.
We had a list of 20 limitations where we thought I picked the 4 that I thought that where we both were most interested in talking about. So the first one is not every idea is testable. So which kind of ideas do you think are not testable with this system?
Mostly B2B ideas are not very good, not very testable, or at least
high-ticket B2B ideas are hard.
Especially you need ideas you definitely need a sales force to. You not the SaaS thingies out there. That's one thing.
Up to $1,000 per month, I think this system is totally legit. Above that, it's getting tough.
Yeah. What do you think?
What we said, the 0 to 1s. What we do is testing against current demand. Yeah, with the search ads. It requires current demand. With display ads, we could have also generated that demand, but not on that kind of budget. But that means that we could have not validated Google Dropbox with that. Nobody was searching for folder synchronization on Google, so we would have said, oh, this idea is a dud. Yeah? Dropbox was a real, what Peter Thiel would call a 0 to 1 idea. Something that was disruptive, that is not easily explainable, maybe, in the beginning. But that if it's there, it then suddenly is awesome. That's really hard to test with that.
Yeah.
My arguments against that, in Germany, we just don't do 0 to 1 ideas. It's we are scared of those. We don't do them anyway, so that's not such a big problem.
Also, it's like MVP, build it if they come. In this case, I think a bit more, if it's really interesting, then maybe it's the technical interestingness you will be able to make an MVP display maybe. Maybe you have to test it a different way then.
Exactly. There's always a question of should I test it more, which is this point, the dilemma of focus or move on. And that is a horrible limitation. That is the big question always. Should we have stuck with that idea? Should we have moved on? Petram.
What about physical products? Would you recommend this method for...
What about physical products and digital products?
That's your question. I know you have
this
an
idea
passionate answer to
is
that.
so evil overkill for physical and digital products. You would absolutely fucking kill it if you would use that. This is just bad for products that need a lot of cache or lots of contacts you don't want to burn. And apps is a really hard business anyways. But for physical products, if you would do it, if the FBA community would learn this and apply this, they would go through the roof. I'm very certain about that.
Which community?
The Amazon, the fulfillment by Amazon community, the whole physical product thing, like, look what I did with EcoCut and with Klarheit. Same shit. Yeah? Same system, generally. Just focused on a single idea. Through the roof, but I can't do it with every product. I'm definitely certain of that this is not some magic juju. Yeah? It just shows you with a certain probability that the product works or it doesn't. Yes, please, Telfun, and then you.
Well, this system only works for things where there is already a demand. Where it is a demand because people have to look for it and go on your landing page because there is a problem. But I think, for example, for a business model like HelloFresh, nobody would have looked up for abo boxes and this.
Yes.
Like business models nowadays, for example, in e-commerce, only work if you create a demand. Right?
So the question is, how could we change this to, what I would do if you would have to generate demand is switch from search to display. Fuck AdWords, go for Facebook full force, and just create the demand. It's super easy to do it there. It's much cheaper than AdWords. And if you don't have any potential in search, you can ignore everything except YouTube ads on AdWords these days anyways.
But you mentioned a very, very important thing, in my opinion, and that's you're solving a problem. And that's not a bad thing for a startup, right?
Yeah.
You have people are searching for solutions to a problem. So if you look at the search pattern and it's for the box nobody searches for, yes, but they have a problem and they search for the problem and you're just another solution to the problem. So if you look at from that perspective, it does make sense to also look at different keywords and searches and so on and so forth and test your idea. But Ben and I, we kind of disagree also in the do we focus on one thing and just do this one thing for a year and try to figure out how to make it work, or test for variety and all sorts of different ideas and so on and so forth. And I'm these days more on the end of focus on something, or I do it for myself. I do focus on something which is important for me and try to make it work somehow. And I do not test with landing pages, but I had a lot of learnings out of this system. For example, I'm in B2B now because B2C sucks.
Why?
There are some other questions before that. Jasmine, and then you.
Do you think the system will work for event marketing to test if special event needs or conferences?
Yes, I do. Quick answer.
How do you measure if the product is successful in the market? Specifically, what are the metrics?
Return on investment, 5,000 in, 15,000 out.
Okay, but it's just that.
Yep.
So, I mean, you invest 5, okay, you get 50, you said, I don't know, 50, and then it's over. Or this is, I don't know, creating some money on a regular basis. I don't know what's the business model, sorry, because I'm late.
Yeah, so depending on the idea and the business model you have, it would be actual positive cash flow. That would be having an idea validated and then going back and thinking about how can I scale this one. Yeah? Then maybe go a little bit back on the ROI, but just on growth, and then later figure out the ROI again on a higher scale. So definitely money in, money out. That is the measure to me. In the beginning, the the generation of an email address was very highly correlated to the cost per acquisition later when we wanted to sell this stuff. Yeah.
It was even better. So it was like an upper barrier of cost per acquisition per download from an actual app.
Yeah.
For instance, sorry, because
yeah, sure.
Complements the question. For instance, how many people are still using your app?
So let's say CSGO skills, right? It has 750,000 users. We got like 260,000 email addresses out of that, and we have 14,000 monthly active users at any given time. 500 installs every day. That's the state of things right now. Yeah. Yeah. Not all are good. Not all are good. Yes, please. How did we figure out that people want to vote on features? We just built it and they did. That was just an hypothesis that they would and that the data would be valuable, but we didn't know. We just tried.
They answered normally, so they send you emails or you ask?
No, it was a feature in the app where you got like a list of 6 features, you could vote for one. And the list was randomized. And you could also submit your own ideas.
So one option in the app was a go-to training plan or learn something and something else and then vote for features. And it was in a different color and highlighted a bit. And then you click on vote on features and then you have to list them.
So let's talk about some learnings. Yeah? As we said with the Bring My Burger, validate business ideas you actually want to be the owner of that business. Really think about how your life would look like if this shit would be successful. And if you're happy with that, continue. If not, please kill it earlier than later.
True. But not only if you're super successful, like Mark Zuckerberg style, in the very, very, very early days, you have to do everything by yourself, right?
Yep.
So you have to stand in front of a McDonald's burger for hours and hours, like 24 hours, and wait for someone to order a burger. So that's your life for a couple of months. So if you ask the team who's up for that, and nobody makes like that, then pretty much the idea is that.
The only guys who really just rock any ideas is the TRX guys. They have like no fear of cold calling, no fear of cold. They're like fearless, amazing. Like learn from those guys. We need to interview in one of those meetups in a couple of months, please. So next one, stick with one audience. This is a tricky one because that would limit your number, your ideas you could validate. We wanted to try a weather app, a to-do app, a gamer app. The problem with that was that we couldn't transfer our learnings about the audience and the audience itself from one app to the next. What a stupid idea.
Yeah, totally true.
Oh my God.
True. Yeah. It was much more of a distraction than anything else. It was, We should have, but we should have also picked the audience and not only just randomize some ideas and test it for a weather app and the Bring My Burgers stuff and so on and so forth, and then let the data speak. Pick your audience. It's my opinion, and then go from there.
The nerd inside says if you have one product idea right now in your mind, then first split test for audience. Then focus on that one audience that has the strongest reaction to your idea, and then stop giving a fuck about your idea, but about their problems, and solve those problems, and not think about product 1, but about 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah, stick with one audience. Life gets so much easier. Yeah, if we wanted to build an add-on to CSGO skills, 360,000 people are waiting to get an email to be invited to the next product. Life would be so much easier.
True.
So, you noticed good ideas earlier. We said that a ton. If you don't see traction on your idea, kill it, please, for the love of God. Yeah, I see the name test guys here from Cologne. They're super frustrated when their Facebook page doesn't have 200,000 likes in like 6 weeks. They're like, no, this needs to die. This is a stupid Facebook idea. Like they're on a completely different level of traction search. They are so picky and choosy of their idea. Like if your idea doesn't have traction now, test 2 more channels. If it still doesn't work, kill it. Yeah, do yourself the favor as an entrepreneur to have a chance for a successful product and then to build from the cash flow of that product your next bigger ideas, the next bigger ideas, the next bigger ideas. Please.
But doesn't this depend on the product or the kind of business you're doing? Like if you sell a Rolex watch, it's probably worth to pay much more to get something on your landing page and make him subscribe, right? Than like
Definitely.
a very cheap watch.
Yes, so that is rather a question about which budget should I have to validate that idea, right? Kind of? Like,
it's probably worth paying more, having a harder effort to get
yes,
something
definitely.
to convert if like the revenue you can get out of one person
Yes.
who is really interested in the product is able to pay a lot for it or billion.
Let me answer that quickly. The rule I'm following these days now, especially with physical products, for people who have been asking about that, is I believe that in the beginning I need 20% of the gross price for the customer to acquire. If the product costs $100, I need $20 to acquire the customer in the beginning. Then I try to be cheaper, to go to 10 to 5. Yeah? But 20% is reasonable. So, what would I consider validation if I had 100 conversions? So, $20 investment to 100 conversions. That's what I would then say. So take $2,000, try to get 100 conversions. Be happy if you are at 50 or 60. Be super excited if you go above 100. But if your product costs 10,000, just multiply it by 100. Yeah? You need more money to validate more expensive products. Definitely. Because you need about 100 conversions. In B2B, 10 conversions are fine. In B2C, 100 conversions at least to get an idea of what's actually working, what's not.
And
So,
our product was always an app, right? So our comparison worked because this was an app and the second one was also an app. So my opinion is you have to have multiple ideas or feature sets, whatever. If you do not know the numbers, that you can test these different feature sets or variations of a solution or these kind of things. So you can test for variety of what translates better or what's a better product or what's a better marketing message. So simple A/B testing in that case.
So one thing we would also change is the team setup. Yeah, I think you're best about. Arno was the CEO of the company. He had to worry about the money coming in, the money going out, managing the team. Would you like to talk about that? The team setup.
Yeah, it limited us. Our burn limited our what kind of product we had to have in the end, right? It had to be millions and millions in customers, because in the app environment, just a fraction pays for anything, and that's most likely 80 cents. So it had to be in the millions, and you have a very high churn and so on and so forth. So the math resulting in that was it had to be on top 10 in the App Store to have a profitable business or to have a decent return on investment for the investor. So with that in mind, we had a bigger team, we had a higher burn, we had a lot of things have been set from the beginning. So and for example, CSGO skills, it was for one startup, it was for one person, it was a really successful startup or app or business, but it wasn't for us, and we had to change at one point. It would be totally enough and decent for a 2-person team or 3-person team. You had you could have figured out a business model, but for us, we had time pressure and we needed to make it work on a large scale. So for us, it was always CSGO players are, I don't know, a couple of millions, and there was a League of Legends in this game and that game. So 5 games in total. We have to copy the app, and our market is these 5 games. And if we can get the market share of 30% and these many people download the app and this fraction buys a subscription, it's not enough for us, for a business, from a return on investment perspective, to have a successful startup. So that was a very big limitation in terms of, is the process the right approach, is the app idea the right approach, and so on and so forth, to be successful. So, and that was not something we had in mind in the beginning. It turned out to be the setup or these limitations in the turn of I don't know, and when we ran the.
I think we know what you mean.
What about the investor in your team setup? Did he completely leave the working operation to you, or did he want to?
So the question is about how did the investor interact with the team and how active was he?
Yeah, we agreed from the beginning that it is a very interactive relationship in terms of I wanted to have his feedback on ideas, where do we pursue, and so on and so forth. And it was. We showed him all the ideas, and there have been calls.
The data, the benchmarking of the different ideas.
Exactly, and he knows numbers, right? He knows exactly, he can look at these numbers and he knows exactly where we stand and so on and so forth. But he was also the one who told us, CSGO skills is nice, but it is not a business. And at that point in time, I didn't realize what he means, but he was totally right that it was too limited of an idea or an app or a product for our setting. Not
this is where we
scheme,
disagree.
Yeah.
For example.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Just to give you a perspective, 300,000 downloads in 3 months. How does it sound to you? Pretty awesome. We had to kill the idea. That was a big fuck you moment for me. Yeah? So, that's when I noticed I'm not this hyper growth entrepreneur. I'm not one of the Somewhere Brothers guy. I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur. I want to have a business that fulfills me, that makes enough money for me and my team, and that affords me a great lifestyle. I don't want to have a gazillion billions. I'm fine with 5 million in my life. Yeah? Absolutely. It's so fucking easy to earn 5 million in an entrepreneur's life. But it's really hard to really only focus on the 100 million, 1 billion revenue startups. Really hard. The 5 million stuff is peanuts. Investors don't give a fuck about that. It's not even close in the return of investment range that they need. I learned that there, and it just broke my heart when I saw 300,000 downloads in 3 months with a very limited budget. Yeah? And so, you know what I mean? That's a huge limitation of this. If we would have a slimmer setup, which is one business and marketing guy, that means Arne and I and a love child of ours. Yeah, like a business and marketing mind combined with one product design guy like a Hendrik. Yeah, 2 devs that really know their shit front end and back end, and we would have minimized the burn rate maybe to 25k, maybe to 20k, and that would have let us have so much more breathing room.
Yeah.
Quick questions about that.
Yeah, I think these in this VC angel investment scene and so on and so forth, a team of 3 people is ideal in their perspective, right? And I think it's also here the case because you have a low burn, you have pretty much different perspective, different skill sets, and so on. So I think 3, max 5 is a very, very good setup for this.
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. So now
you're really sorry for fucking up the live stream, right? Okay, he says, thank you.
So you spoke about the hard skills that people need for the team, but what about the personality? So we all have different kind of ways to think. Can you give some ideas about this? And sometimes,
good point. Like we later, after this, maybe 2 years after Maple Apps, I realized that there was a concept not only called product market fit, but product founder fit. I should have gotten that so much earlier. Yeah, and there are people and developers who are made for this, who can let go of ideas to focus on bigger ones, and there are people that just can't take it. I'm the one that can't take it. Yes.
Yeah, you said like, okay, 4 people is better, it minimizes the burn rates, all right, but there's a trade-off. You never told us what is the trade-off. Is it speed? Is it quality? Is it...
Wow, wonderful question. What is the trade-off? I think that leads us to the question of that we have next. But I would like to ask you guys first. Do you guys think we would do it again? Yes or no?
Yes.
So, please raise your hands if you think that we would do it again. Who thinks we wouldn't do it again? Interesting, interesting. That left side is much more skeptical. So, I think your answer is in here. So we got a yes or no answer. Oh, boring. Boring.
It depends.
It depends. So, I think we both agree. There we have so much differences, and this is like something everybody can pitch in what they would think. Like, we both agree that we do it for the learning experience again. My God, did we learn in those years?
Oh yes.
That was irreplaceable. Building so many landing pages, validating so many ideas, and building so many apps gives you so much more perspective and makes you so much more choosy about your next idea. Yeah, and so much more informed about what is a good conversion rate on each step of the funnel.
The number one learning from my perspective was I have no idea which idea is good or not. No idea.
Wow, don't I have an idea?
No idea.
We are so not qualified to judge ideas.
And no one is.
Yes,
everyone who's telling you this is a good idea or a bad idea, he's definitely, he doesn't tell you the truth. It's
about that?
The market speaks. Data.
I was curious because it said at least 2 people of our team had to decide to go forward with an app. So I wondered if you kept track of if somebody had a good feeling for this and if somebody was really bad. Maybe even if it's always bad.
So the question is, did we keep track of the people who are suggesting ideas and then making a point of letting them have a bigger weight? I wish we would have done that a bit more. The most successful ideas, CSGO skills, came from 2 devs who said like, dude, we are playing CSGO skills every lunch break. We need to become better at this shit. Let's build an app for that.
And I thought it's a stupid idea.
Same here.
Stupid.
I fell in love with the audience later, and this is one of the learnings. Have passion for one. I would do it again, but with one audience in mind that I'm really passionate about. And I'll tell you what, it's not gamers. I fucked that up. Definitely. I thought it was gamers, but I learned about myself. I don't want to see more gaming in the world. Bam. Yeah?
Serious?
That's like...
I didn't know that.
We had people come into our office during Gamescom that told us like, boom, we love CSGO, more important than my mother and siblings and everything. Seriously.
Seriously.
They
have been serious.
And I was like, is that the energy I want to promote in the world? Yet. Yeah. And lots of Russian users in that with that app as well.
Yeah. Who hacked our app?
It is the most engaging audience.
Seriously.
It's the most engaging audience I have ever spent time with. I think I would still like to do something with gamers, but more like having a VR virtual learning environment, like a world of real life, not the world of Warcraft. That's what I would be really interested in. I also think gamers and porn are the most advanced technologically. Porn and gaming is introducing mechanics into business that like 5 years later land in. Like in-app purchases, virtual products, VR headsets. Where do you see this? Gaming and porn, right? Look at those markets. Do I want to see those markets succeed? Hell no. Yeah, I know I'm much more, you know, like that I'm trying to focus on pirate skills, yeah, and doing more like with if I ever come out with another product, it's going to be very more psychological, yeah, being for good mental health. That's what I want to promote. Entrepreneurship, good mental health, that's what I'm standing for, hopefully. So, I would do it again in a simpler funding structure, like no funding. Or like very little funding with a one-pager as a contract. I would do that, maybe, to maximize learning, yeah, to not having to sacrifice speed so much. No, why wouldn't we do it again? Yes, please, your question?
What did you say the last point you made was?
Like no funding or a very simple small investment with a one-page contract. Otherwise...
But why does it increase speed?
How would you do it without funding? This is another question.
Out of my own cash flow. I would build products that make money, and out of that money, I would invest that in funding new products. That forces me to become real.
Chicken and egg.
Chicken and egg. You know what you can do?
If you want to go with this structure, how could you do it?
You can go work for another company, use your free time to validate your business ideas, and when it gets stupid, to remain in your job, switch. Yeah? Like, where's Marco? Where's Marco from Plague Hunter? Fuck you, Marco. Marco is an amazing example. He worked for Trusted Shop how long? 8 to 9 years while he's plug hunting SaaS software for finding improper copies of your images on the internet made him more than his job. And now he could just skip his job, focus on his stuff, and do his business, maybe sell his business, and be free. Use your free time.
Yeah, and you guessed, right? We disagree.
We disagree
on that one. I would always do it with funding again, and I would focus on that one thing for a year and nothing else, and just go with it. And I tried
B2B space, right?
Not necessarily B2B space, but I tried to have a service business on the side and try to juggle around with the product business and the service and so on and so forth. And I figured if you're a good service guy, customer comes always first. So you find yourself late in the evening patching some software bugs and so on and so forth, and
instead of working on your product.
Exactly. And what should be most important is your product on every level. If you do the ROI thingy and make $1 million with that in 2 years, it's way more money than you do with your service stuff. But you focus always on your service stuff. And so I would never ever do that again, to have like these two things juggling around. And
would you do it with apps again?
With the
would you do it with apps again?
Always would do it with funding, but a little bit of funding.
Yeah.
No.
No, not with apps. We
Never
both
again.
agree that
Totally.
apps are not a business, it's a channel. If you have a proper sustainable business and an app adds value to your customer in delivering the value proposition you have, good for you. Yeah?
But now.
But
right?
the App Store.
Now.
A
couple of years ago, or in the early days of the App Store was...
It was a gold rush time.
Yes, totally gold rush.
But not
then,
sustainable. For like the 10 apps that made 98% of the revenue in the App Store, it was very sustainable.
Yeah.
But again...
But it forces like Uber or Airbnb and... Airbnb not so much, but Yeah, there have been some serious players with the.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's often the winner takes it all scenario.
Yes.
It's hard to get
Very much so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when the big brands start to jump into the business with their millions and billions of money and have to spend just to make their brand bigger and so on and so forth, that's a time you have to look for something else.
Gennady?
You said that you would take like little funding. What's the definition of little funding?
Oh yeah,
I'm not. I always think in times, not in money, right? So
how much time would you fund?
Yeah, 1 to 1.5 years. So
Yes.
12 to 16, 18 months. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not little funding at all.
Yeah, depending on the
well,
team size and
that's
stuff
true.
like that, but
Yeah, but a little angel ticket.
250K.
No.
Small.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Even smaller. Like it depends. How many people are you? What's your status in life? I don't know. What's the market? What's available to you in your position? What's your experience? What's your so on and so forth? Expected revenue
Your question?
and so on. That depends. Just focus on the time. I'm sorry.
Can you talk a bit about how you like the structure with your existing funding? How like
Can we talk about the existing funding structure?
not exactly the one you use for the project?
Yeah.
For example, who owns these schools now? Like
So
Ben, who owns his Ghost Goods now?
I do. So funding structure was we gave away about a third for about $1 million, yeah, and that was the initial 2-year go play money, yeah, go do your app portfolio money for 2 years, yeah, and then whatever was in additional revenue that came through the apps we could add on as runway, right? So we figured we could do this for 3-4 years, even without being fully profitable, but running really strong.
Go and go big was the message.
Yeah, go and go big, and I think that is right. That's what I fully agree on.
Totally.
It's like this half-starved ghost town startup life. That is the most miserable one, where it's not going ahead, where you're like half a year in your product and it's not going ahead. Yeah. That is the hardest time in the life of an entrepreneur. And the main dilemma we said, focus or move on. Super hard dilemma.
How many level 1 ideas did you
We'll talk about that later maybe.
Did you have to go through to reach a level 4 idea?
How many did we go to? Yeah, that was the idea, like 52, 1 per week. Later we did 2 per week
No, I mean,
to generate 1 level 4 idea, and we did 1 every 4 months in the end. Like we built 6 apps.
so
The first one was just testing, and then it got better.
You mean how many did we before we did CSGO Skills? No.
it was more
But
like
that's an
how many
interesting one.
ideas did you churn through till you reached a level 4?
Yeah, about 20.
20.
About 20 ideas to reach level 4.
But if you look at all ideas, it was way more, right? It was like 30 ideas per week.
Yes.
So it was
150 ideas to 6 apps was the final result. So if you think this was valuable, go grab this slide deck. Just to get an idea, who thought this was valuable in sharing this lesson so far? Very cool. Thank you guys.
No, keep up the hands. I have to make a picture.
I
That's
can.
cool.
My
Really
phone
cool.
is bound for the fucking live stream on the part 2.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks. That's
what we wanted to talk about startup idea validation. If you want to get in touch and talk about your ideas, introduce topics, have questions about this, please feel free to get in touch with us. Anne, how can they reach you? What's your phone email? Stalking on Facebook. It's Anne Horn. We live in the same neighborhood. these days. So send me rather a WhatsApp than actually calling me. I just don't pick up the phone. Thilo?
Then you told about a workshop that you want to do at the end of the month or so?
Boom! And we didn't speak about that before, but that was amazing. Thank you, Thilo, so much. If you care about this, if you just want to have the one-day boot camp of how we set this stuff up, and actually like you come with your computer, we set up everything in your accounts, yeah? And help you through every hoop of the problem, help you to build a landing page, help you to set up analytics, your MailChimp, your Facebook ads, everything for your ideas that you bring to the table. It's $350 for Pirate Skills Live visitors. Yeah, it's 50% off, so $299. There is a code in this magic link. It's all in pirateskills.com. All the workshops are linked, right, Snea? Are those workshops linked on the Pirate Skills site?
Yes. No.
No, not yet.
This one isn't. No.
This one, yeah, we're gonna put it up really soon. I'm probably gonna spam you with emails. And at the end, there is always an upcoming event section. Just check out. We usually put the code in there again. If you would like to join us, this would be wonderful. And we only take up to 8 ideas. You can come with 2 people per idea. And would love to see you there so we can really focus on. This leads me to one new idea Snea and I are having, and I would like to get an opinion about whether this is a good idea or not. We were thinking about doing a monthly full-day growth lab, where like 8 to 10 people come with 1 person or 2 persons out of the team, and they just work on growth problems. And we just go around with people like me and Maxime, yeah, and just help you solve problems. We have maybe a 10-minute, 15-minute input session, but then you actually work on your funnels individually, and we go around and help you set up those funnels. We first make an introductory on, today I want to build on this. And it doesn't matter if you came for the first time or for the 5th time. You can start where you left off, but you have help along the way for a full day. Yeah? We don't know about the pricing. I would just like to get a hand of who would be interested in joining a monthly, you don't have no subscription bullshit, yeah? A monthly, 1 day per month growth lab where you would go to work on your growth problems with me there, just to get a general idea.
It's a good idea or
Depends on the pricing.
It's a good idea, but?
It's a good idea, but I don't know my product yet.
Yep. Okay, that's good enough. Thank you for that. So, we got the next meetup already lined up. It's going to be about how to use funnel hacking to grow your business. You see, we're trying to work with better titles these days and convert better, because we learned from B2B leads for LinkedIn that 210 people sign up if we do proper titles. So this is going to be a more advanced class. This is really like, how do we measure conversion funnels? How do we actually attack if people don't sign up, if people don't stay with your apps, and really do a bit more advanced growth marketing session with the May meetup. And we're now also going to go in themes. Every month has a theme now. Like you notice in April, it's all about startup idea validation. Next month is about funnel hacking. Yeah, and then we have a meetup, we have emails with good resources about that, and a workshop at the end of the month. And the month after that, in June, we're going to build on the B2B lead ads lead generation that was so successful last month. And we're going to invite somebody who helps us to capture the leads that we got with the LinkedIn Juju and actually convert them to high-ticket customers. He's very believable. He is making very high-ticket sales on a regular basis. He also has his residence in Startplatz. Maybe some of you know Hamid. He's also certified from the Y Combinator program for the startup print stuff. I'm really excited to see him then. That is in June. So we're going to keep on moving on with the themes per month. And we hopefully can provide value to you along the way. And we need your feedback for that. And Snea, can you stand up, Snea? Give Snea a hand. She's the soul and heart of this meetup. Guys, all the Easter egg stuff. Yeah, that's Snea. The handouts, the social media stuff. Even when I'm posting, it's usually Snea. Yeah? So we would really love you guys to give us feedback on this meetup, what we could do better, what we could leave. Yeah? Please fill out your forms. Physical forms has such a high conversion rate to last time. I've never seen you guys give so much feedback than with the last one. We usually did it with online service. It sucks compared to the feedback you have been given. So please take the time. It would be so valuable for us to learn from you guys and just dump it in. I put the box over here. Or maybe Snea holds it in your hand so you have a bad conscience if you go by and not give her anything. So, that just leaves me to say thank you very much, Arne, for joining me today.
Yeah. Thank you.
Please take a seat. That leaves me just with one more thing. So, maybe you kind of got the wind of something new coming up around in this thing, and we usually have this line, isn't it growth-artic? We think this is amazing. So, we're actually going to practice this startup idea validation today. I'm gonna do it, but not alone. Let's get a blank slate, get a white tapestry, and talk about growth-artic. Would everybody please give Hendrik a hand, and would you like to come up? Where's the microphone? Hendrik, my man.
Do we have to stand?
I'm sorry, we have to stand. I didn't get a chair.
It's really late.
You know, my live stream is already working. Do you want to set up yours?
Maybe he will do it. We will have
maybe he will do it. So, Hendrik, what are we up to these days?
growth-artic.
Hendrik and Ben.
So,
shit.
If you want to visit our brand new landing page, I set up today, I would say in 45 minutes, and now I had 30 minutes more to make some sneaky stuff. If you have a look at the growthartic.com website.
Wait, what are we going to do at
I will tell you, but first visit the website. There's a picture on the website.
Go to growthartic.com. Take out your phones. It's totally allowed. We're not going to sue you or anything, or kick you out if you pull out your phone.
So maybe we have to tell the story, because storytelling sells, right? And the story is, so I think, do you know what the Culture Klüngel is?
Culture Klüngel?
Who does not?
The live stream doesn't.
The Düsseldorf Klüngel doesn't exist. I know. So it's a Culture Klüngel, yeah? And I think what is really important is the Culture Klüngel, that we have to know how the Culture Klüngel works. And I'm really sad that the Culture Klüngel doesn't work in the digital scene here in Cologne. There are so many people collaborating or don't collaborating, and there's this kind of meetup where we share our thoughts, we share our experiences. All the companies in Cologne doesn't work together, and I have 12 years experience now. I hate this shit. Yeah, I hate that we don't collaborate. So, first point. So I try to explain.
He's on a roll, right? He's really pissed at this.
I'm really pissed, yeah. For 12 years now. So I want to explain you the problem, yeah? That's one piece of the problem. The second one is, we know everybody of us has to publish content. If you do Facebook ads, I think you did all the meetups and all the workshops, it's always about content. If you don't have really good content nobody clicks on, you won't sell anything. So producing great content is the key. But as we know, producing content regularly is pretty hard, right?
It's really hard.
Maybe just one piece of content a week would be more than 50 a year. It would be awesome for everybody of us to start, yeah, or for every company or for every startup, but it's pretty really hard.
Just imagine you've written one article per week for the last 5 days on your blog, giving your opinion. You would have written 250 words. You would have been interviewed in any major journal. Did we? Who did that, by the way? Maybe somebody did here in the audience. Like, who's really putting out content on a weekly basis? Pedram is. He definitely is. He's even live streaming and YouTubing and everything. Pedram is really good at it.
Imagine one of maybe 50.
But we just suck at it.
And I would say everybody of us knows that it is important, right? So that is something. We are sitting both in Startplatz. Ben is sitting there, and I'm sometimes sitting there in the co-working. So we are just maybe 50 meters close together.
Why don't we do something growth-arty?
Yeah, that could be a good idea. Then, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we have been, without knowing, we've been to Slovenia, a small city called Porto Roch, close to the sea, maybe 5 meters.
We met at the airport in Frankfurt and was like, I know that dude and his family.
And we had a speaking gig there, so we met there and we had 3 or 4 days hanging around in Porto Roch. It's really small. It's really boring. It was rainy, but there was a sea, and it was a big fucking conference hotel.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of time to think what we could do. Creating ideas, stupid ideas.
Yep.
And then we did our talks, and then finally on the airport in Ljubljana, we had maybe 2 hours
the
waiting
main
time.
airport of that country that looked like Düsseldorf Witze.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was better than Düsseldorf,
it was.
right? And so we were sitting there, and then we said, okay, we are always talking about the idea stuff. I talk a lot of times about execution. Execution is everything. And then we said, okay. He said, I always wanted to do a podcast.
Yep.
And then I said, okay, podcast is not my medium, so I have some podcasts, but honestly, what about YouTube videos? And so I hate all the YouTube. I'm too old maybe for YouTube videos, and so on and so on. And then he has a really big notebook, not this MacBook, the real notebook for paper pencil.
Yep.
And then we start writing down some ideas. What is our goal? What we want to do? Blah blah blah. And then in the end we said, okay, it was Saturday, I think. And then we said, okay, we have to execute it on Monday. Because if we don't execute it on Monday, then the idea is not good enough, because we both have enough ideas to do. So on Monday we had a meeting, and then we said, okay, what we want to do. And then
we did this here.
Then we came to this awesome name, Growth-artic. And I think you heard in the session before, if you start something, we are like this. We are that nerdy that we always think, okay, what about the name? We're checking the domains and all the social media handles and so on and so on. And we fell in love immediately with Growth-artic.
Because we would have to tell our story. We knew we wanted to do it in English. That was one of our major decisions. It's one of the biggest problems I think we German founders have, because our market is big enough. If you would be growing up in Finland, you would never even consider doing it in Finnish. You would be automatically doing it with an international audience in mind. And here, the Finnish startup scene is much more active compared to this size than the German one. And all the Scandinavian ones are much more advanced because they think English first. That's something we learned too. Why would we even do an app German first? Completely stupid. Yeah, maybe because we are German and that is a USP, but we wanted to reach a broader audience. And Growth-artic, from the title, would force us to explain what the stupid name is about. And it sounds like awesome in German. and it's like GA. Maybe I fell in love with it because it stands for Google Analytics or something like that.
I saw that coming.
I saw that coming. So, but what is it? We tried to find a way to explain, and we came up with this. Oh yeah, like we are like 10 years in that entrepreneurship business. 2 experienced entrepreneurs and dads from Cologne talk about growth in a weekly podcast. But that's not that catchy.
No.
So, and we still didn't know. So we
that's a German description. We describe what we want to do.
So we thought like, okay, we talk growth. That's our thing. But the question is, what do you think about it? Does this idea suck? or is it a great idea? So we set ourselves a challenge. You have to validate this idea, and you can fully help us fail in our attempt to have an amazing podcast from Cologne. Yeah? No pressure. No pressure.
It is pressure.
No pressure. So, within the next 7 days, we said we want to have 100 plus people giving us feedback on the landing page growthartic.com. And if it doesn't happen, the podcast won't happen. You're going to go there, you're going to see a nice sign-up field like the landing pages I just showed you. Henrik, how long did it take for you to set it up?
In total, maybe with some testing from my colleague, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, maybe.
With DNS, everything.
Yeah.
So from start to the end.
So guys, get your phones out if you're interested in 2 guys talking about growth from Cologne. Sign up, take this survey. We are only counting
It's
survey.
1 minute. There are just 2 questions.
What
Do
are
you
the
like
questions?
it and why?
Do you like it and why? Can you do that for us?
What's the spoiler?
Who will do this now or after the meetup? Just to get a reaction first.
I did it already.
You did it already. Thank you so much for doing it already. And we're gonna be eternally thankful for you guys. We even considered like doing a launch party if you keep on sharing it, and we reach 1,000 feedbacks. Yeah. Okay.
So maybe one story about the goal, because I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
So we started with thinking about the goal. What is the goal for our, maybe this level 1 I learned today?
Yep, this level
It's
1.
level 1. Just we have an idea, just give us some feedbacks. So it's level 1. And then I thought, okay, I think he's a little bit more into the idea than I am. Yeah. And I said, okay, give me some data.
I'll take that any day.
Give me some data. I'm pretty sure it will work out for us. So I need this feedback. And if I get the 100 people who say, yes, we want you to do this, I say, okay, then I'm convinced as well.
And
it's 100.
Absolutely right to do this.
Yeah, it's 100. I wanted to have 1,000.
Yes, I talked him down from 1,000.
And he said, no, 1,000 is too much. I think I need this validation beforehand, because we have so less time, like you do as well. So we have to make a really strong startup validation. So think, before you start something, think about the goal. Is it 100? Is it 1,000? Because in cheating yourself, we are really good in.
Yeah. So guys, I would really like you to take part in that journey. We thank you very much for participating today, and we hopefully can get a great new startup and podcast from Cologne get started.
We would love to. Thank you very
See you
much.
Bye bye. Bye bye, ice cream. Bye bye.